What's up? What's going on, my good people? Welcome or welcome back to Rhonda's Real Talk, where people come for the food and they stick around for the conversation. Before we get into this food, I want to ask that you like, comment, and subscribe. All right, y'all, today I'm having spaghetti. I'm having some spaghetti and I'm ready to get to it. I'm ready to get to it, y'all. Give y'all the first bite. Well, it's still hot. I don't know if y'all can see the steam or not. It's still hot. I'm so glad it's still hot. Y'all, it takes forever sometimes to actually hit the record button. My favorite thing about this spaghetti is that it's plant-based. I grew up on spaghetti with ground beef. Eventually, I started eating more ground turkey spaghetti. And this is actually walnut meat spaghetti. Walnut meat spaghetti. Let me give y'all a close-up. I'm going to show you what it looks like while it was in the pot cooking. It looks so good. It does. And it tastes as good as it looks. Also, if you've ever wanted to make walnut meat, or if you're, cutting back on meat or meatless Mondays, or you're trying to be plant-based, I have a short of me making this. The walnut meat is really easy to make. Yeah, I made look at my cheese. I made a really big pan of the walnut meat, and we had company the other day, and I made a small pan of baked spaghetti. Same spaghetti, but it was just, cheese on top, put it in the oven, and it was a hit. It was. And this is the pasta I used. Chickpea pasta, gluten-free. The only ingredient is organic chickpea flour. So I just tried to make a healthier version of spaghetti, a meatless version. And that's what I love most about, like, when I do plant-based meals or dishes, I get a chance to, like, really be creative and try different things. Y'all, we're going to talk about who the F did I marry. If you're not familiar, it is a 50-part series on TikTok. I'm on part 30 right now. We're going to get to that in a second. And really, I'm talking about it. I'm not even done, but we're talking about it because somebody actually sent me an email about something they're going through, and they wanted my opinion. And watching the series is what made them really question some things about the person they're going to marry. So we're going to get into it in just a second. I've been working all morning, filming some content, and my stomach was growling. Like, I could not wait to sit down and eat. Mmm. Slow down, Rhonda. The food ain't going nowhere. Y'all, saying that to myself made me think about how fast I used to eat when I was younger. My mom would like make me and my dad's plate, right? And she would make her plate and sit down and get ready to eat. By the time she sat down, I was usually already done with my food. I used to talk really fast, and I used to eat really fast when I was younger. I'm talking about smashing my food, okay? I'm so glad I'm not like that no more. That was ridiculous. I'm getting full. Well, satisfied, not really full. One more bite. And then I'm gonna get into who the F did I marry? I'm telling y'all should try this. Like, if you're open to like trying plant-based food and stuff, y'all should really try this. It's good. It's good. And also too, I feel like walnuts are a great nut to use because, I mean, just the times that I've used it and like tried different things, it absorbs flavor pretty well. I said that was the last bite. This is the last one for real. I'm done. But yeah, y'all should try it. All right, I'm gonna move this out the way, and then we're gonna get into the situation. Before I get into the situation, if you have a situation, a question, or a topic that you'd like me to address here on the channel, hit me up at rhondasrealtalk@gmail.com or send me a DM on Instagram at rhondasrealtalk. All right, so I got an email from a woman that wants to remain anonymous, and she watched the 50-part series on TikTok. So Risa Tisa is the person who told her entire story on TikTok. I'm on part 30. I'm invested. I will finish it. It's a messy ass situation. It's messy. It's unfortunate. I feel like she's telling the 100% truth because there are parts of it that make her look really bad too. And, you know, she said she wanted to share it to get this story off her chest. And also she's like, if I could help at least one woman or get one person to think about, you know, what they're experiencing in their relationship, then this was worth it, right? And it's a lot. It's a lot, you know, and I've been listening like a podcast. I've been listening, like I put my AirPods on, you know, if I'm in the grocery store, I'm listening to it, or if I'm doing laundry, whatever, I've been listening to it in parts, and I'm on part 30. I'm really looking forward to see how this thing ends, like what happened. So anyways, the woman that wrote in, she watched the series. She said she sat and binged it, couldn't take her eyes off of it. She felt like she could relate to a lot of things that happened during the story. And she also just felt like it made her question different things about her fiance. So she's engaged to be married, and she said that, you know, there have just been questionable things that have happened over the course of their relationship. She's caught her fiance in lies. The biggest lie that she has to date has been, okay, so they were spending time they were hanging out with his god sister, and the god sister slipped up and said something about him having a child, right? They tried to clean it up. They couldn't clean it up. He had to come out and say, yes, I do have a child. She had no idea this man had a child, right? So, of course, I would be thinking, like, do you have any other children? You know what I mean? So, basically, of course, this put a strain on their relationship. The reason why he lied about having a child was because the child lives out of state. So, the mom moved, took the child, and, like, the child lives across state. He goes and visits a couple times a year. But he's just like, I'm not in my child's life every day. I feel some kind of way about it. But she, like, still, like, you should have told me you had a child. You know what I mean? So she, you know, found out about that accidentally because, like I said, the god sister slipped up and said something. And he had to come clean because he didn't have a choice at that time. She said it was a strain on their relationship. They were going to break up, but they worked it out, got back together. All right, so cool. She's caught him in some other little lies or whatever that she didn't elaborate on those lies. And then she said the other thing that really sticks out for her is that she just feels strange around the people who he's closest to. So, you know, certain friends and family, she just doesn't feel welcome. She said it just feels very awkward. And so she was just saying like that, you know, and I was like, can you elaborate? She was like, I just don't feel welcome. Like, I don't know how to describe it. She was like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, I try to be warm. I try to ask questions. People are very short with me. I just don't feel like I've had a chance to really connect and build a relationship with anybody. So what do you think I should do? She was just like, after I watched, you know, that TikTok series, you know, I caught him in this lie about his child. There have been other lies, you know, that I've caught him in over the course of the relationship, you know, different character things I've kind of questioned about him. And I don't know, you know, we're engaged to be married. Like, what should I do? Like, I don't feel settled. I don't feel good about getting married, but am I doing too much? Am I allowing this story to get in my head? Right. So I'm going to tell you what I think about this. Catching somebody in that kind of lie, that is a huge lie. That is a huge red flag that you cannot ignore, because for me, if you can cover up having a child, then to me, there's no limit on what you would lie about. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no limit to it. If you're going to lie and hide a child, I just feel like that there are so many things that you would omit or not share or not, you know what I'm saying? Like, not, you know, let me in on. And I just can't be in a relationship like that personally, a relationship, let alone a marriage with somebody like that. And the concern you have with the people that are in his circle, you know, his friends and family, here's what I think about that. I think that those people, you haven't had a chance to really connect with them. You said you're being open, you're asking questions, you're going to all of the events and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like you're not around. You're making an effort to build a relationship. But I think what's happening is that these people are keeping his secrets. That's what I think is happening. His god sister had a secret of his, slipped up and said something, right? And I think that everybody else is doing the same thing. So you know how it is. Once you get comfortable with somebody, you start building, laughing, drinking, whatever it may happen. There's certain things that you might slip up and say. And I think that everybody is kind of on pins and needles in terms of building and connecting with you, because they're trying to keep his secrets. They're trying to keep everything under wraps from you. That's what I think may be the case. But it just doesn't seem like a good situation for you to actually marry this man, let alone be in a relationship. Because honestly, like, being open about who you are, the life that you've lived, the relationships that you had, having children, you know, the college that you attended, all that stuff is very important information. You know what I'm saying? So, and you need the truth and you need facts from people in order to make a decision on, you know, are we a good fit? Are you someone that I could be in a relationship with? Are you someone I can have children with? Do I feel safe with you? Like, to be able to make all those determinations. And of course, being around somebody and how they make you feel is important as well. But like, having information, correct and accurate information, is extremely important. And in that 50-part series, you know, just one of the things that just, as soon as she started the story, you know, when somebody provides you information, you need to look into it. Like, we have so many things that are available to us, so many resources that allow us to check shit out, that you have to do it, y'all. Like, we have to make sure that people are who they say they are, you know? Like, even in my situation with Honey, when we met, it wasn't like we were just on the phone talking. Y'all, immediately, when she told me certain things and I picked up on certain clues and stuff like that, please, I went to my computer and looked up everything. I'm on websites. I'm looking at video. I'm doing all kind of stuff. Like, I did my due diligence. I was doing all kind of stuff, y'all. Everything that she said checked out, and I'm grateful for that. But even beyond that, it was really important. So we met in April. We met we met on YouTube. We talked for the first time, April 1st. We met May, I think like the second week of May. I was in Ohio by July. By July, I was in Ohio. And for me, it was really important to be immersed into her world. I wanted to see what her world was like. You know what I mean? And a part of that is you are checking to see I wanted to see if I fit in her world, what it was like, how it felt, being around her friends or whatever, whoever she wanted to introduce me to. I wasn't like, oh, introduce me to all your family. It was still pretty new, but I'm like, we may see some of her friends or see people casually. I just wanted to see her world. You know, you want to see if things add up. That's extremely important to observe and ask questions. You know what I'm saying? And If someone is not allowing you to do that, or if they're keeping you from their friends and family, or like you said, when you're around people, everybody is just tight-lipped and not interacting or asking questions, or like I said, being uptight because they may be keeping secrets or whatever, you got to be mindful of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do not want to put yourself in a position where you're married to somebody and now this person's taking half of whatever you have acquired or built for yourself. And you knew all along, you felt it all along. The intuition has been there telling you that this person is not for you. So don't ignore your intuition. I think you know exactly what needs to be done. I don't think y'all should be married. And I also don't think you should be in a relationship, to be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. Like, it just, lying about a child, you caught him in other lies. You said there's some character things about him that you don't really care for. And then, you know, like I said, the people that you're around, sometimes it can be very telling about certain things that are going on, that have gone on in the past or whatever. I don't know. That just, something just doesn't feel right about it. And you know it. You know it. And I think you got to do what is best for you. I understand you may have invested 2, 3, 4 years of your life, but, you know, allow it to be that and learn your lesson and, you know, allow that to help you make better decisions going forward. But it does not seem like a good situation to me at all. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not, there was nothing in that. It was so many things that stood out when we were kind of exchanging messages that just didn't really add up. So y'all, you know, meet her in the comments. What do you think? You know, would you be able to forgive somebody for lying about having a child or omitting the fact that they had a child, and you are now engaged to be married and you had no clue? You've not known anything up until this point about them having a child. So this also means that when you had a child with him, you would have thought that you was giving him his first child, which is completely, that is so misleading and just not the truth. You know what I mean? Like, you deserve to know that you are going to be giving him his second child, third child, or whatever. Because again, he might have other children. He might have other children. You know, that would have been a great opportunity at that point to let you know if he did, but he didn't even tell you about the one that lives across country or whatever. So yeah, meet me in the comments, y'all. You know, let me know if you've watched the series on TikTok. Do you want to watch it? Are you invested? Is it too much? You don't care? All of that, y'all. Tell me what y'all think, how y'all feel, and also give this woman some advice on what she should do. Because maybe y'all have had your own experiences of red flags or someone omitting or lying about something significant, you know, when you were pretty deep and pretty serious in your relationship, all right? So that's it, y'all. That is the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. I will see y'all in the next video. Make the best of the day. Be good to yourself. Peace.